Okay, well, that was, Sally came in, stole my chair. Winston came in, and I swear to God, drank straight for 5 minutes. That noise, especially for that long. And then he's gonna go, Winston's the one who's dying. If he doesn't die this week, I'm just gonna have to call. It's just way too horrible. He's so skinny. He used to be so fat. But now he starts going in with his licking himself. It's weird because he licks his paws. He'll just sit and lick his paws. And I don't know if he just finds comfort. And now I keep thinking, is that when I was washing him off yesterday, because I'll have to take him in the bath to wash him because the stuff that leaks out of him, it just like, he's got skin conditions. That's been one of his things. And that's why I wonder if like some of the medicines that he's been on when he was younger, if that's what's caused him to have this, must be, he's got cancer and kidney failure. Because when I looked it up, when you go to the vet, I don't think his vet that he had for his whole life would have ever done this. But when you go to the vet, and then they're just like, want to spend all this money on tests and want you to do all this, it's just so they can profit. It's like when someone dies in the funeral place, puts up pressure on you. It's like you have to deal with death without guilt, kind of. But so I have had to go more to, Google and read like vets and stuff, what they say in papers that they write. And so I guess this ammonia smell for a dog, they wouldn't have the smell if it wasn't kidney failure. So he's got kidney failure, and he's got a giant lump, and I could feel it yesterday. I keep feeling it. It's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, and it is down back more, like where that kind of hair area is that their penis is hiding in, kind of, it's like not sticking out, but it's that area, like that lump is to the side of that area. And I think that's what started causing him to have these problems with urinating at first, that he was straining, and then it just started leaking, and then he just lost control. I think the bigger this tumor gets. So I think there's got a couple things going on. But anyways, I think if he doesn't die this week, I'm just gonna, it's just so sad. But anyways, so there was some more stuff I wanted to talk about. My memory is shot anyways for my brain injury. I can't remember crap. It's so crazy because before I had a ton of credit cards. I was a workaholic. Work spent. And I knew my credit card's numbers. I guess so I could shop online before your phone remembered them for you conveniently. It must have been so I could put them in at any time. But I knew all of my credit card numbers. I knew the numbers on the back. I knew which ones, the debt, all that stuff. Now, you couldn't give me 7 numbers and expect me to remember it for more than 30 seconds. It just sucks. But anyways, so one of the things that I was thinking about, and they start giving me all this information, is the education system and what a trap. Just the same way that they were setting the interest rates and all of that stuff, then they do that with the education and jobs and with the power. And with all of this stuff, it's so controlled. It's all controlled by these certain people, and they're using everything they can right now to keep us from getting all the information. But the school, they're setting that, at first you just needed to go to college, and then, you could get a great job, a job you could move up, a job you could support your family. Then it was go up higher. School prices are going up as the desire to, you don't get the same education in this one as you do in this one. So, all of that creation of like, I've got to go to the best. I've got to go to the ones where you get a good job. And then, it's this degree. You can't work unless you have this degree. And then it's this degree and this degree. And at the same time, they're giving these kids loans, or, some of the parents who did work hard, who did have any money, that nest egg is gone so that they can help their child have a leg in life. It is such a system. Oh, man. Such a system to keep us down and dependent. But so all of these kids going to go pay for these educations when, how many kids get out of high school and know what they want to do for the rest of their lives? Who's the same person they were when they were in their late teens, 10, 20 years from then? Who's the same person even in your 40s that you were in your 20s? The concept is so ridiculous, but it's a paradigm that's sold to us that we need to fit into. That's what a successful person does. That's what an intelligent person does. That is what, all of the little labels that they attach to that we, oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, if we just do that, then we can even say, hey, you can't tell me I am college educated. I am smarter than you. I am, all of the stuff that they do that creates more and more division. Somebody who has apprenticed for a plumber and has worked under them, and a guy who has 30 years of knowledge and stuff, you can't tell me that guy he's more higher educated than this crammed in, like, hey, come into our schools, pay us a lot of money. We're going to give you some classes, do some indoctrination, do some training, set some target words in your hypnosis, and then put you out there. Is just, and how many kids came home from school from the same people who paid to put them in these schools? They came home and told them, that they were ignorant, that they don't understand the things about life, that they need to be mindful of their words. They need to, all of this social, like, I'm better than you concepts. Justice warriors or something, I think some people call them. These people who are holier than thou, who have, they can shame us all. They know, and they've figured it all out because they have done all of, like, check marks on the paradigm of what is successful, who is the ones who can do that. And, we don't have to listen. We don't have to give in to that, but they're doing it as they're indoctrinating these younger kids, and we're in full takeover, like, right now. It's just like all of a sudden we've become aware of what's been going on and the infiltration into our government and stuff, and we're aware of this fight. This fight's been going on for a long time with people who, the white hats and the black hats and the communists, the global, and they've gotten a lot of people to just either, out of their families being threatened, or them committing crimes, or their lust for greed, power, sex, whatever, all of that nefarious acts bring as you sell out your entire species to these globalist controllers. But while they're in school right now, that it's a hardcore indoctrination of trigger words and setting the narrative and everything. At the same time, they're charging these kids to do it and calling it an education. They're not teaching them real history. They're not teaching them real science. They're teaching them what they want them to know. It's all like, it's all such a controlled manipulation of a culture. So while enslaving them into this corrupt money system, they take over areas of their mind without them even knowing, by using target words and trigger words, and targeting whatever thing that they want to bring up, because it can be about division. You want to create division, you know, maybe people are getting along too well, who knows, when all of a sudden it's like, create division. Create an event because we want everybody to look over here, or create an event because we need to change this certain thing. So if we create this event, we'll get everybody scared. It's like this juggling circus. They've got all these puppets, and oh man, it's crazy. But you can really see right now how they have what they've done to the youth, and the separation. And I saw it with the Simpsons when they were that's when I noticed them start doing it. But even to put us all into generational labels, you know, I guess the weird thing is when I was younger and I was reading about it, I was some other generation. I can't remember what I was called. I think that they just kind of swept that one away and tucked them in some other ones, because it was another thing. And I was like, oh man, I wish I was a boomer. But it was a couple years away from my birthday. I was like, I would have rather been a boomer. That's a cool name, a boomer. And so I remember having this whole thing about it. And so forever I thought I was this other thing that Mandela effect, you can't even remember existed. But so I thought I was that. And then it was more recently, all of a sudden they have the new dates out and I'm suddenly a boomer. I was like, well, that's weird. How did I suddenly become a boomer? I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm a boomer now. And, but all of a sudden a boomer was a really bad thing. The boomers are the ones who destroyed the world. The boomers are the enemy. The boomers are the ones who want to hold back the progressive growth of this world. And the whole problem is the boomers are the ones who have life experience. They have actual history, like they've lived through things and they understand things and know things. Like I lived through racism in the South. My high school was the first one. It was when they desegregated and they brought all the kids in from downtown Dallas into the suburbs. And it was a huge, huge thing. I mean, it was a giant thing. Like I lived through, like I heard conversations. I was paying attention. I knew what was going on. I definitely have been in a store and heard people talk very derogatory to people just because of the color of their skin. So, you know, I know what racism is. Don't come in and tell me what it is. I have seen it. I didn't have to experience it. I didn't have to be a poor black person in the South to see it. I witnessed it. I was tuned in enough to pay attention, empathetic enough to feel these people's pain. It's disgusting. And I would never participate. And if I hear people saying it, I don't have a problem of pointing it out, like, you know, that's rude. I'm also, I mean, I can be in a room and hear jokes and stuff. Like a lot of jokes are degrading towards women, degrading towards different cultures and stuff like that. I don't jump up and shame everyone out of their stupid joke. I can laugh at stupid stuff and not, or if I don't find it funny, not laugh. Another thing, thinking of that is eating. How we are so locked into this set schedule of when we should eat, what we should eat at those times, how many times we should eat a day. They change it all the time of what's healthier, what's not healthier, what we should eat, what's on the food pyramid. It's probably due to how many more chemicals that they can get into us is the food of choice. That's our healthy food. But don't tell us what's healthy when you're filling it full of chemicals and toxins and then say that we need it. The whole thing is just like, sometimes it's just so ridiculous that it's like you have to laugh. It's so ridiculous. But anyways, one of the things I found also in my separation from the matrix is just eating when my body tells me to eat. Eating what my body tells me I want to eat. What does it need? What kind of nutrients is it craving? Sometimes it is just, I just want to just eat junk. Just have a fun day of just eating junk. And I'll cook stuff that would just, that I would go, being rural, you start figuring out how to cook stuff that would be like, if you feel like you have a craving for fast food, you figure out ways to cook it. Air fryers, oh my gosh, that dream thing. That's technology that we definitely needed, was an air fryer. They're beauts. But so anyways, if you, I just started listening to my body. So I don't eat when someone tells me to eat, and I don't eat what someone tells me to eat. I just listen to this thing right here. I eat when I'm hungry, and I eat what I'm hungry for. And I think that is something that we all need to start doing. I mean, just like this whole thing with I've said it, I know I've said this a bunch of times, about this epidemic or whatever you want to call this health crisis that's happening, has so much, I mean, because I don't know anybody who's died. So honestly, it hasn't had any effect with me, like that kind of effect, but I have been quarantined. All the businesses around here have been shut down. Live music has been stopped. Everything has stopped. There's no deaths around here. We're not in a big city, but still, even in the next towns, I have not seen any signs of what I would consider a reason to lock everything down. But anyways, there was a point that I had to that. Well, anyways, I don't want to just sit there in a lull trying to figure it out. Maybe it'll just come back to me. But I just feel like I saw somebody saying one day, if you turned off your TV, if you turned off the news, if you quit paying attention to the information that's coming to you from outside of your house, and you just went outside and started meeting up with people and talking with people, you would have no idea that anyone's sick. And there's just not that much sickness out there. And it's just this whole thing has just created this phobic paranoia of germs. And this health crisis should be creating people to look at their own health, their own way that they take care of themselves. But everybody has that, external Loki, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault. It's that, it's like outside of you is all this fear. You got to fear germs. You got to fear other people who carry germs. How many germs that we had every single day before they started talking about it? We were having the germs. It wasn't killing us all off. How many germs do you touch every day that someone else has already touched? Everything you're touching, we are constantly swapping germs. And so what would be the ultimate solution? Let's figure out how to all be healthy together. Let's start taking care of ourselves. Let's start eating right. Let's start paying attention to our bodies. Let's start paying attention to the food and the chemicals that are going in, that are toxins to our chemistry. let's start just as a group of people, let's start just making a way to take care of ourselves and create healthy environment. You know, and that's a lot of people giving up a lot of addictions. A lot of people, you know, coming to terms with things that they stuff in, and there's just a lot of those things, and that should be what's coming up. And being quarantined is giving opportunity to look at those things when they come up. So the more you can detach from all the things going on outside, those are your trigger events. Those are just the triggers that are happening to make you look at other things. And the quicker you can stop looking outside of yourself and tune into yourself for your answers, then the sooner change happens. The sooner change happens in your own life, without a doubt. But the sooner change is going to happen for everybody, because it is. Be the change that you want. That's how we're going to create something that's going to be different. Because we all know we do not want to have more of the same. This has been, they've made life challenging. They've made life hard. They've made life a struggle. And we're going to take back control. And, you know, we're going to make life fun. We're going to make life prosperous. We're going to make life abundant. We're going to make life social. We're going to make life dancing and music and art and creation and travel and sitting down with strangers and having a meal when you're traveling around the country, not, you know, putting on gloves to shake their hands. We're going to come together. This separation that they're trying to create, we're not going to have it anymore. It's going to change, but change starts within. Look at your own self. Look at your own triggers. Think about things from other perspectives. Look into things. Don't be locked into the narrative. Don't be sold a story. Just think for yourself all the time. Okay, that's it for today, I think.